What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about Opendoor. I want to go over some of the data points, break it down, what's moving it, and some key levels you need to watch for. Before we get into any of that, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So during the pre-market, it is up 1.62%. So there's been a couple of things that did come out that's kind of causing all of this price action. One of which was a 13G. So you did have 𝗖𝗎𝗧𝗛 signaling that they made a brand new position of 60.8 million. So you can kind of see that right here. Very welcomed, of course. This isn't the first institution that increased their position. So even on November the 10th, we had Goldman, recently as well, Jane Street on November the 13th, submitting a amended 13G. They did reduce their position slightly, but prior to that, they did increase. So yeah, institutions are paying attention to Opendoor, and they clearly like the innovative updates that 𝗪𝗧 is doing, in my opinion. But aside from that, though, you also have, so far this morning, Williams signaling a potential December rate cut. And this instantly shot this up. So yesterday we were at, I think, about 39%, give or take. Now we have a 69.1% likelihood of a 25 basis point cut. I don't need to tell you that is huge for Opendoor and many growth stocks. So when it comes down to it, it's all very speculative. We have also a lot of big data coming out today. So for instance, later today we have a lot of flash data. So composite manufacturing and services, that's coming out at 9:45. In all the cases, it does look like the forecast is kind of 53, 52, and 54. So anything above 50 shows more of a expansion. Anything below 50 shows more of a contraction. But comparing it to the previous, it is a little bit lower, so market might be a little bit picky for that. And then Michigan consumer sentiment is coming out at 10 a.m. Depending on how today does play out, I can do a PM video as well if you are interested. So if so, let me know in the comments below. But aside from that, you are seeing a little bit of a battle. And what I mean by that is shorts already during the pre-market are increasing 419,000 shares. They are the culprit on why this went down. So they're not letting up. So it looks like there will be a battle today. So just be aware of that, because even over the last several trading days, this green line right here, shorts have been returning. They had an initial spike. I think that was just to kill the momentum, but they have been largely returning ever since that spike. So it went from around 24.07% to where it is now. So anticipate shorts to be very, very active. So this is why, again, I proposed doing a PM video, because I feel like today will be quite interesting. One thing to take note of, though, with today being Friday, this is the open interest. So you do have right over here, roughly around, looks like 7 at the $7 strike price. You have 13,000 at the 8. You have 8,000. 2,000 at that 9, and then closer to where we are right now, you don't really see too much. So best case scenario, if Opendoor somehow is able to push higher to that $7 range, then this is where shorts might wake up even more than what they have. But again, just something to kind of keep in mind. Aside from that, already during the pre-market, you were seeing some good transactions on the dark pool, but as I've indicated in the past, dark pool is often enough used by shorts. So it is fair to assume that most of these are linked to shorts. So again, not necessarily the best. It does signal that there's going to be a battle today. With it right now at 623, it is trading between this S2 and this S3. So in comparison to a lot of other stocks and growth stocks, Opendoor has been hit very, very hard. But today, 638 is going to be that next strong target / resistance, and then 532 will be a strong support. I don't really see this S3 being hit today, so on the table potentially could be this 638. So just kind of watch for that if you're going to see any sort of technical recovery. Aside from all that fun stuff on the actual chart, there's not really much positives to bring up from all of this, aside from that it's very oversold. So it's been hit massively, currently below the 50 and also 10-day moving averages. So those are both very big deals for a lot of growth / momentum stocks. So I'd like to say that today we're going to see a nice recovery to $8, $10, but realistically it's going to come down to the data that could potentially push it to, I'd say, that $7 range for the most part, or even because that's where you see from this market position a little bit of a gap right here. So you could see a nice little push to roughly that 698 in theory. Again, best case scenario. Flip side, if the data is negative, you could see a little bit more of a push lower to around that 590 to 560 range. So it's all going to come down to the data and the market, especially with what Williams mentioned about a December cut, is going to be really looking at the data even more now. So it's a fun time to invest. As I've always mentioned with Opendoor and many other stocks, they're very frustrating, but if you do believe in them, take advantage, buy the dips, do what you need to do. Dollar cost averaging is kind of the best way to go, in my opinion, for a lot of volatile stocks such as this. But if you want to really go Hail Mary, you can always buy a call option. And this is something I've really mentioned in the past, is times when you're betting against the market. So right now the market's assuming that Opendoor and a lot of stocks are going to go down. So if you assume 850 is on the table, which represents a 37.99% upside just on the common stock, if you assume that is going to be hit by, let's say, February, you can make a 72.8% on a long call. So again, I just wanted to throw that out there. Or flip side, if you're bearish, you can always buy a put. But if you want to really do a Hail Mary type of thing, definitely consider doing a option. So let me know your thoughts on Opendoor. Are you buying? Are you selling? What do you think is going to be the next big market catalyst aside from rate cuts? Do you think that something else is going to be coming down the pipeline to really incentivize buying? Or what's your kind of general thoughts? One final thing, pop over to my Patreon if you're looking for some solid buy signals on stocks, options, crypto. Put out daily day trades, numerous swing trades. Worthwhile to pop over there and check that out. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.